up, everyone? Welcome back to the Miss Teen Crypto Show. I'm your host, Randi Hipper, back at it on this lovely Thursday. Thank you guys for being here. If you guys are feeling good, you're feeling zesty, smash the like, subscribe, share the stream out with friends, comment in the chat, say hello. I see we have a lot of friends in the chat, so thank you guys for coming. I have a very nice, zesty, special guest on the show. Deezy, welcome. How are you?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. Your energy level is just like so positive, and I feel like I need some of those polycule amphetamines to keep up. I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me on. Big fan.
Of course, I'm a fan of you too. You're taking off. You're hosting morning shows, hosting Around the Blockchain every day, 5 p.m. Eastern on the new Around the Blockchain YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, you must. It's in the description of the video. But listen, man, this has been a crazy year for us in crypto. How has it been treating you?
It's been treating me well so far. It's been a fantastic January. If you want to look at 12 months, no, it's terrible. It's horrible. Year to date, hey, pretty good. Oh, I want to do that real quick. Let's get better to eye level. There's been a little bit of a DeFi pump. I've been enjoying this Bitcoin run. I think we're up about 38% for the month of January. So, I had some alts do pretty decent. Shout out to Martini guy, put me on some small mid caps. And I'm afraid, Miss Teen Crypto. I'm going to tell you why. I'm afraid because I feel myself feeling the same feelings that I had in March and April of 21, in September, October, November of 21, where you just all of a sudden turn so bullish. You're like, it's going to go up forever. And then that thing in your brain that said, yeah, you're going to take profits when it hits this level. Well, it hits that level, and that thing in your brain's like, what if it goes higher?
Exactly.
And so I'm starting to feel a little scared. So now I'm starting to feel like I need to start peeling back some profits.
Oh my gosh, I was feeling the same thing. I've been playing on my wallets, swapping things, just be it's not like a ridiculous amount of money. It's like $10, $20 here and there just for fun. And I'm just seeing everything go up. I'm like, should I swap now? Should I move out? And it's hard. It's hard to control it because then, especially pre-FOMC, it's like, do I take profits? Do I hold? I see everything's going up now. What do I do? But yeah, it's something you have to learn. You have to learn how to control your ego in this space. And I mean, people in this space, they have big egos. Listen, and I know you.
Hey, let me not to cut you off. Let me give a hint, because there's some people who will never control their ego. They'll say that they can, and next thing you know, they blink and they're middle age and they still haven't controlled their ego. They're yelling at their kid's soccer coach, or they're yelling at the referee for the flag football game for the 8-year-olds. And so, for those people, and if you have enough self-reflection to realize you're never going to fix your ego, here is the tip. I'm going to give you this one tip, and it's going to save your life. It's going to save your crypto account, and it's going to make you a millionaire if you just listen to this one thing. If you can't control your ego, do the opposite of what your brain says. It is actually a good strategy.
Yeah. It's like, you have to, it's almost like betting against yourself, but to balance it out. Because if you don't, then you're just gonna go crazy. You're checking in. It's like the devil and the angel on each shoulder. You have to fight.
Mine's just two devils. One's like, buy this crazy $5 million market cap, and the other one's like, buy this illiquid NFT.
Yeah, there's battles on what you have to invest in and what's going to make it, what's not. And I mean, listen, people didn't expect half of the stuff to happen in this space like they did. But I want to talk more about you before we get into crypto and all the craziness that is in this space. Let's learn more about you, Deezy, who you are. We're going to rewind, go back a few years. What were you doing in college? What did you think you were going to do with your life?
Well, I'm a college dropout. Man, I'm old, y'all. I'm 38 years old. So, I've had career arcs, we could say. My early adult life, I was working at a strip club, helping promote it. I worked in the accounting division and marketing division. I was actually a corporate employee of this chain, and I never worked inside of the buildings. I never worked with the adult entertainers themselves. I was always behind the scenes working out of this accounting office. And I did that for a long time. And I initially thought, I was like, all right, I see how to run a business. I want to own my own business. I wanted to own a bar in this town that I lived in. It's Wilmington, North Carolina. That's where I used to live at the time. Great college town. There's a military base 45 minutes up the road. There's an Army base, hour and a half this way, Marine base up north. And it just had a robust community. It was like a riverside town. It's kind of like a small Charleston, South Carolina. And I looked into what it'd take to own a bar. It was a lot of money. They have grandfathered in liquor licenses going for 6 figures. And for me, pre-crypto, that just seemed like this astronomical amount. So I opened my own business, and it was a garage. I did oil changes and inspections, and I did that for a while. But then I started seeing this new wave of industry, and that was the content creation side, the attention-based economy. And I just bet on myself early. I kind of quit what I was doing. I was a bartender at the time, saving up some money. I had shut down the garage. I'm really priming myself to open this bar. I'm like making the connections. I'm starting to learn like what does it take? How much money does it cost? What's a good network of people to have working for me? And then Fortnite happened. And it sounds stupid, but Fortnite really changed who I am. And it's not like I wanted to be a pro Fortnite gamer, but I was obsessed with Magic the Gathering at the time. I had fancied myself, I was going to be this professional Magic the Gathering player. I was going to travel the country and battle these nerds with cardboard pieces of paper on a table in the back of a comic book shop. And this was such a awesome idea to me. I was like, I really can't wait to make this my life. And, you can actually Google, I'm doxxed. It's Nick Valdez. I mean, you can Google like Nick Valdez MTG or, top 8. And you'll see like my little tournament rankings, over the Eastern Seaboard, where this was really a thing I was going to do. But then as Fortnite, blew up, I was, like a lot of people, I watched a little. I was kind of on it a little early. I played with my bartending friends, and I remember watching a Ninja. I remember watching Tim the Tap Man. I remember watching the TSM squad, Hamlin's, Daquan. And then I started comparing it to Magic the Gathering streamers. And I said, there is a night and day difference here. These people over here in this Fortnite world, they're actually entertaining. And then I put on a Magic channel, and it was the most boring snooze fest I've ever seen in my life. It's just a bunch of idiot nerds who are quiet and not entertaining and not doing anything cool and not putting any pizzazz, no zest. There's no freaking zest, Miss Team Crypto.
If you don't have the zest, what do you have?
I can come into the space and literally be the world's best Magic the Gathering Twitch streamer. And I went and I think, in my opinion, I succeeded at that. I had the world's top MTG TikTok. I was, top 3, top 4 Twitch streamer in the world's #1 time slot, which was like the US noon to 6 p.m. time period. I was still crushing tournaments, winning tournaments online. But then, like just a lot of us in crypto, there's always new shiny things. Then I became obsessed with crypto again. I remember hearing about crypto 2012, maybe even earlier from 4chan. I had a buddy buy Bitcoin. He lost it on because he forgot his seed phrase. I had a buddy lose money on Mt. Gox. And due to those things, and 4chan was just known for scammers, due to all these things, I was like, well, I'm just going to stay away. This is like shadowy hackers, this is scary to me. And so I stayed away. But then the 2016, 2017 bull run, $1,000. What? I remember it was a lot less than that. Wait, 2,000, 5,000. And then 2017, 5, 10, 20K. And when it was happening, I started educating myself. I did deep dives on learning about Bitcoin, watching a lot of Antonopoulos videos, doing a lot of dives on Reddit, looking at different image browser boards, just reading as much as I can about crypto. And then I learned about the 4-year halving cycle. And so I kind of waited on the sidelines. I saw that. I thought 3K, 5K was too much. I thought it was going to crash any second. But it just kept going up 10K, kept going up 15K. And this is, where I say, let's do the opposite of your brain. I'm almost like when it's at 10, 15K, I'm like, maybe it does go to 100. Maybe I should buy some now.
Yeah.
And I didn't do it only because of the halving cycle. Even that early, we had a little bit of data of the price fluctuations with the halving cycle. And I just said, you know what? I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait, about a year. I don't know what the exact date was, but I started scaling in at 2018, knowing that a crash is happening anytime. And so I had a little bit of crypto that I'm accumulating it. I remember just market buying some on Coinbase, a slow bar night, like, oh, I got a good tip, for this maker's mark. Yeah, I'll buy a little Ethereum. I had a little dream. I'll own 32 Ethereum maybe one day. But, fast forward, I'm streaming Twitch, and then we have the 2020 run, and things are just really starting to pump. And I'm streaming this entire time. I'm seeing the March crash and watching it. And I start opening that Coinbase app again. And then I start watching people like CryptoFace and, Ben Armstrong. And, then I find myself literally in open trades, having CryptoFace's stream on mute. in a leverage trade, probably on the 1 minute chart, while I'm streaming to hundreds of people playing Magic the Gathering at the world's highest level against the world's smartest people.
I'm so
And I'm
dead.
sitting here like looking at a 1 minute chart, like a frick, a green dot, I got to buy, you know? And I found myself also ending my streams earlier. Why? So I could catch up on crypto YouTube. And then
I'm so
eventually
dead.
it just reached a breaking point where I had to make a choice. I saw an opportunity to work at BitBoy for a trading card game that we actually abandoned. But I actually picked up everything, packed my car, moved to Atlanta to create an NFT based crypto trading card game. So I took all my specific knowledge, and every time you learn a new skill, each additional skill doubles your chance of success. And so I just had all these little bits of knowledge, you know, running my own business. I went to school for accounting. I'm starting to learn the creator space. I'm starting to learn how to do video editing. I'm starting to learn, what it takes, what's in a thumbnail. And then I started learning, about trading card games. And I took all this specific knowledge, a little bit of knowledge about crypto, and I leveraged it into a job in Web3. And I would say it's open. The world is your oyster if you look at it that way. So, if you want a job in Web3, there is opportunity there. Do what I do, and I did, and just say, hey, where can I bring value? And then just look for opportunities.
Dude, wow. Props to you. You've been through it all. You're like a true entrepreneur. And I feel like that's so crypto, Like I feel like a lot of crypto people just made their own way. And you definitely did. You just dropped out of college. And I know to do that it takes a lot. But why did you drop out of college
I
in the
dropped out
first
of
place?
college to be a Twitch streamer.
So that's
Actually, I had a choice. If you look, like my first stream was like January 3rd or something, and I just basically I started setting it up. The tail end of that semester, I already knew I probably wasn't going to finish school. I finished that semester. I didn't just drop out immediately, but that December ahead of that January, I'm ordering all my parts on Amazon. I'm getting my rig built, and then once I had that little bit of extra free time, I just started streaming. I think at one point I was working 3 jobs. I had 2 jobs in the service industry just to bring in extra cash. And then I was streaming as much as I could. And so I was just grinding, man. I was on that young Twitch streamer grind that, that's literally what it makes. That's what it takes to be successful. You look at like the early days of the Tylers, the Ninjas, the Shrouds, any you pick your streamer, you look at the early days, they're just putting in the work, the Aidens, the whoever.
Yeah, literally everybody. It's a grind. It really is. And, being young, probably literally like 18, 19, my age, to kind of take the initiative and say, hey, college isn't for me. I'm going to create my own businesses, plural. Were your parents supportive of that? Were you nervous
No, man,
to drop
my
out of
parents weren't
college?
around. I had a dark, scary upbringing. I'm a bastard. My mother, she had a checkered past. She had issues with addiction and stuff like that. Spent some time, maybe behind bars, and I had to, be with different family members, and a lot of traveling. I think by like 5th grade, 7 schools type deal. So I was always, I had a interesting upbringing. But I just dove into books. I'm pre-internet. I'm 38, so growing up, there wasn't really even. I didn't really even have video game systems till my mom moved in with her boyfriend Robbie Cumberland. He had an NES in the early 90s, and so I just read a lot of books. That's kind of was my escape. And I think it ended up doing good things for my intellect, because I'm glad I was reading books instead of, playing Minecraft or something. It didn't exist back then, but it exists for the kids today.
Oh, I want to give you a hug. I think overcoming something like that, and, dealing with, a figure like that that's supposed to be there and isn't, is really difficult. And to build your independence the way you did, I really do give you props for
Well, it
that.
ended up being probably a good thing. There's, you can have bad role models in your life, and, you could kind of look up to those bad role models. Say you have an abusive parent, you might be an abuser. I think the statistics kind of prove that out. But to me, I was really into fantasy fiction. So to me, my hero, my role model was Paul Atreides of Dune. I'm saying this out loud. I'm almost like cringing, but to me, that was like, Stephen King's The Gunslinger. Like that's someone I would want to emulate more so than, a random adult figure, not random, but, a typical adult figure maybe in a household as a child. So I actually, I'm shooting for the stars with these like lofty ideals. Good thing Harry Potter didn't come out, when I was young. I probably would have been I would have been a nerd, fashioning my own wands. It would have been real bad.
I mean, did you end up reading Harry Potter or no?
Yeah, I think the first one dropped. I was like a teenager. I was like 14, 15, 16 or something when the first
Yeah.
one dropped. So I was a Goosebumps kid. I loved
I
Goosebumps.
remember reading those in my elementary school library. Used to love those. And the
Hit
movies
the
were
like
good.
button if you remember Say Cheese and Die. Who remembers that one? Yeah, hit that like button, everybody.
I don't know, but I think there's over 90 people here, so they should be smashing that like button. Please show love. We all need love in this
Someone
world.
read Say Cheese and Die. I know I'm not the only.
I mean, listen, I think Goosebumps was great. I think, books are great. And I think, like, we should all read more books. So if you haven't, speaking of
We
books,
can't
Catching
anymore
Up with
though.
Crypto is out,
We're-
BitBoy Crypto. So just to plug his book, that's out there for some educational
that's
books.
good and all, but we can't read anymore. Let's be real. Like I used to read voraciously. I read all the time. Man, I've been struggling. I had a few good books I read maybe a couple years ago. I've been falling out of it. I read a couple Blackjack. Shout out. I don't want to shout them out too much here, but yeah, I'm getting really into counting cards right now. I'm currently memorizing the variations. So last couple books, yeah, but compared to how I used to read, I don't read it nearly enough. And then I feel like TikTok is a huge driver of that. Our
Wrecked us
attention
all.
spans are so effed. We can't focus on a page for 60 seconds. We can barely focus on a 4.6 second video.
I mean, honestly, like when I pick up a book, it's like I have to finish it then. It's like I literally pick up a book and I don't stop for hours until like my actual eyeballs get sick of looking at the page. That's like me when I read a book. It's not like I could read a chapter, put it away and walk away. It's like I need to read all of it now because then I get just too involved. So I guess but then if I don't touch the book, then I'm just not reading it at all for a while.
Are you Team Edward or Team Jacob? I'm assuming you've read Twilight.
I
You're-
haven't
you're
read
about that
Twilight.
right age.
I haven't read it, but of course I watched the movies.
All right. Well,
I
given
think
the
I'm
movies,
more-
are you Team Edward or Team Jacob?
Honestly, I'm a little bit Team Jacob. I feel like Jacob's a little bit more grounded, and I feel like he was more genuine towards her than Edward.
I'll only allow that because it is a little bit creepy that this like 120-year-old man is hitting on this teenager. So,
Yeah.
I'll give you that. Okay, I'll give you. He does smell like a wet dog. But okay.
Yeah, I mean, and it's funny, like that's that part where he's like, "Bella Loca, where you been?" And like he's giving her like that awkward hug, and she's like, "Ugh." Like that's just like one scene that I remember, and it's just hilarious. Anyway, more about you and then less about Twilight because that's an awkward movie when you really think about it. Everyone still watches it too. I see clips on TikTok everywhere. But you were really early to the streaming game, which I find so fascinating because like not a lot of people would have taken the time and said, "Hey, I want to be a digital creator." Like you were trying to be an influencer before a lot of people knew what that was. Why did you want to do that? Why did you believe in that space? Did you ever think that was like the streaming thing was a fad, or you knew that was always there to stay?
I knew it was the way to go, mostly because of Naval Ravikant. He's an angel investor out of Silicon Valley. He's, early investor in like Uber, Airbnb, just a whole bunch of tech companies. And I saw an interview on, I didn't really even watch this podcast. It was the JRE podcast. It's Joe Rogan. And he came on shortly after Elon, and Elon was the first episode I'd watched in years. I think I'd watched early episodes because I was really into comedy podcasts for a period, but I hadn't watched Joe Rogan in forever. But the Elon one, everyone was talking about it. I don't know if you remember, but like, Elon smoked weed
Yeah.
and the gif of him puffing the joint, like it was literally everywhere. So I said, you know what, I got to watch it. And so YouTube, fed me clips or whatever on my YouTube algorithm. I didn't watch any of them, but then this Naval Ravikant guy, he had a clip, and I think it said something about maybe digital economy or how to get rich or something like kind of catchy.
Yeah.
And within 20 seconds of hearing this guy talk, I was like, this guy is different. And so I watched that clip, and sure enough, YouTube algorithm doing what algorithms do, recommended another one. I think he had 6 or 7 or 8 total. I had watched all of them. And then I said, I need to watch this episode. So I was listening to this man talk, and he's talking about the economies of scale and what it takes. We're talking about books, right? You want to sell a digital book versus a paper book. One is clearly a superior business model. If you're trying to sell a paper book, you sell 100 copies, that it costs you the cost of that book times 100, assuming you're accounting for a scale. You sell it digitally, you don't have to increase your expenses via each extra book that you sell.
Exactly.
And I'm sitting here trying to sell cans of beer. The 100th can of beer means, my expenses are 100x versus if I just sold one. But then he started talking about the digital economy. You just make your YouTube video once. It doesn't create additional expenses if 1 million people watch it versus 100,000. There's no
Exactly.
additional expenses if 10 million people watch it. And I just saw the beauty of that, and my mind just clicked. I was like, what the heck am I doing with the physical world? What am I doing with a brick and mortar business? Like, this is the stupidest idea I've ever heard of. And it just kind of opened my eyes to the capabilities of leverage. It's just allowing the YouTube platform to leverage your content, or Twitch, aka Amazon, to leverage your content. And Twitch being owned by Amazon, I was like, well, they're not going anywhere. It's Amazon. It's Jeff Bezos. He's probably going to take over the world eventually. And so I just saw, even though some considered it risky, to me, it was safer than a traditional business or a traditional job.
I honestly agree because, the way of making money is digital. And I think especially during the lockdowns and everything like that, we saw that big time. A lot of like kids just didn't, they dropped out of school. A lot of people started online businesses, especially because I know you're on TikTok a lot. If you look down the live streams, a bunch of people have their businesses. Like people are scooping things, they're making like jewelry. Like I saw like people cracking open like oysters for pearls and selling the pearl jewelry on live. Like they'll make the piece for you if
What
you
is up
order
with
it.
the I'm pretending to sleep ones? What are your
Oh,
thoughts on those?
those are so weird. Okay, so for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, on TikTok, you can scroll and find this random live stream of some person laying in their bed, and then it has like, things behind them of if you send this, then this noise will go off, and if
Yeah,
you
give me
send
a
this,
dollar. It's an alarm clock. Give me $5.
and it's like
Someone's
a
banging a
blaring
trash can.
alarm. Yeah, they'll be like, try to wake me up or something. Those are
Yeah, and it'll
wild.
get extreme. It'll be like $20 and it'll pop a stink bomb, and you're just like, what the heck is going on here? Like, this is a little bit much, $50 and I release some rabid Rottweilers in my room. Like, okay, some of this is starting to look a little over the top and cheesy.
Yeah, I definitely think like, but they're money makers too. And I see live streams of everything, like line dancing and like all these like other southern parts of the country. I'm seeing businesses like, I've seen clothing stores where like they have, they'll do a live stream and they try on the pieces. They'll show how it looks on an actual person and people are buying it. It's pretty wild. And that's the way people are making money now, is through digital stores, not even physical stores anymore. Like people just buy it. They don't even want to go try it on.
Yeah, and it kind of reminds me of what we see in the crypto space. It's like, is that Vitalik talking? He said if I give him the ETH, he'll give me two back. I feel
Yeah.
like it's just a lot of the same. I've just seen the same stuff. It's like, that is not Mr. Beast actually gaming, saying, giving everyone $20 who donates a rose. Like, that's not true, folks. But I mean, you
Exactly.
multiply it by 20,000 people, someone's going to be on that low end of the spectrum, and they might send them $20.
Exactly. And how did you feel that social media has changed from when you started getting on social media? Because I know it's totally different than even like 2, 3 years ago.
Well, the short form content, the shorter attention spans definitely changed the way you look at content. I saw someone describing 5 years ago, a 4-minute interview is considered short form content. Now anything less than, more than 60 seconds is long form. And so the whole thing there has changed. So before you get away with, and I know there's still people doing this, but, Medium articles or, Substacks, and, people are more willing to read, and you might see a longer Twitter thread. And now it's just a little bit shorter. It's a little bit more concise. You're starting to see, now versus Vine is a little bit of an aberration, but versus like a short college humor, think of like a Mad TV sketch, a Key and Peele sketch, you might see something like 3-4 minutes. Now it's like literally 3 or 4 seconds. And so
Yeah.
I just think the you just have to reduce the average size of your units, whatever you want to call like your content that you're creating that's supposed to be consumed, whether it's an Instagram post, a Twitter thread, a YouTube video. You got to condense everything for the ruining of attention spans. As unfortunate as that sounds, our brains
Exactly.
are effed.
Yes, very, very much. I'm scared because it's just like people, and you can even look as a creator, if you post on TikTok, you could see like after like a few hours, they'll have analytics for you to look at. And some of the analytics include people's retention. And you can see even in a 10-second video, by 5 seconds, the retention just slides away because people cannot look at it. Like they don't want to watch it. It's
One
absolutely
thing I've
insane.
noticed too is you've seen the bottom of YouTube. It has like the spike of views. Like, oh,
Yeah.
everybody watches this part. Here's the part where they do the actual unboxing of the iPhone or whatever. I've noticed that is becoming less and less effective. Now I've seen so what I've noticed is I'll go to a spike and then I really won't see anything of substance. It doesn't even explain it. And then I'll think and I'll say, oh, I just made the spike bigger. And so like we're conditioned like something cool is at the spike of viewership. And then
Yeah.
but like what if there isn't and it's just like it was supposed to be like very, very small because of maybe the color of the background changes. But then everybody clicks on that little bit of an aberration. And then, it's like, and then by the time you're watching, it's this huge volume spike of views, and you're like, oh yeah, this must be the entertaining part. You go to is nothing, and you're like, the heck's happening? And why? I don't have the attention span to watch the entire 4 minutes. I'm like, all right, just show me the hot spot. Okay, boom, I go to it.
Exactly.
So it's like it's happening in real time. I see myself doing it, and I feel like I'm outside this glass, scratching, trying to get in at the normal human
Yes.
being that is Deezy. But no, it's just this automaton who's just fed TikTok algorithms.
It's so horrible because what I've been seeing is the night shows, like the late night shows. There, a lot of them aren't a thing anymore, and a lot of them now, and even like SNL things like that, they're not getting as many viewers on the live shows, but they're getting a lot of the views on TikTok and YouTube, where they cut all of it up, and that's where they get most of their views. Not even on TV anymore. So it just goes to show that maybe TikTok and YouTube is the new TV.
Can I share a brief bright spot? And I won't say too much because we don't want this, this video to get flagged or suppressed. But I was pleased to see that recent Project V Word video. I think they're right at 30 million. They're like 28 million when I looked yesterday.
Oh,
so
yes.
that is a little bit of a glimmer of hope because that I think it's like a 9-minute video. I watched the whole thing. I don't know about yourself.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
It was.
So again, we won't say anything else. So let's protect the channel here.
Yeah, that was freaking wild. And you know what? If it wasn't for Elon and if it wasn't for Twitter doing what they're doing, we would have absolutely no idea what's going on. So at least we get like some glimmer of truth in some way, shape, or form.
A little bit.
Exactly. And I'm sure this is something, you guys have seen at BitBoy Crypto, because I believe YouTube actually took your channel down once. I think, I believe I saw that like last year or something. And it was absolutely horrible. There's just extreme amounts of censorship. And I think I've seen less of that on YouTube and TikTok because of Twitter. Because if they start censoring everybody on other platforms, everyone's just going to go on Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and Rumble's trying to do a little bit, and it seems
Rumble's
like
trying.
The recent departure of the recently jailed Romanian, and also Steve Will Do It from Nelk. Those two seem to honestly done more for Rumble than I think, anything else that's like happened in the previous few years in its existence. So I think there is a play here. I just don't know if these polarizing figures are going to be enough to drive mainstream adoption. Can you get the two aforementioned people plus Donald Trump? Can those three people make a platform? No, but could it be the start of the snowball that turns into the boulder that crushes YouTube? Maybe, but YouTube's going to be deft and agile, so it's not going to be like just some easy competitor to beat. It's Google,
Exactly.
It's Alphabet. They have a lot of capital and they're ready to deploy their resources.
Absolutely. And, speaking of social media, it's hard to build crypto social media. But again, because of the past few years, the 2020, 2021 kind of bull run, we've seen a lot more, openness in social media in terms of people accepting crypto. And, I wonder how you feel about that. How do you feel crypto in terms of adoption is now?
I mean, I see some moon math figures every now and then. It's like 60% of people have, bought or thought about buying crypto, and it's like, yeah, I mean, maybe, but then you read like, why would this survey be done? Who's it done by? And you're like, okay, well now some things are starting to not pass the sniff test. I think we're starting to see more and more of it. There's all these different angles of attack that we're using to permeate into the mainstream, whether it's Steph Curry walking down the NBA Finals with his Bored Ape hoodie, or it's Gary V. You're really into his stupid I don't mean stupid. You're really into his content about garage sales. And the next thing you know, he's like talking with a Logan Paul, they're talking about a crypto punk or something. Or, there's the DeFi angle. There's the California DMV angle. So I think we are starting to see more mainstream adoption. But as far as social media, I mean, I don't know, the biggest thing that happened recently, I guess, would be the Bitcoin tipping feature that's been leaked to be happening on Twitter. Say you don't want anything to do with Bitcoin. You're only on Twitter because you really like, random football team. We'll just say that the Buccaneers. You just love everything Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You go on there and you got your little Tampa Bay Buccaneer feed. You see Bitcoin tipping. Is that really going to push you over the edge? I don't know. I think it's more about a long-term strategy where it's just like, you know what? maybe I do like Pepsi a little bit more than Coke, but there has to be something said about the fact that I see 50 Coke signs to every one Pepsi sign. And then when I'm at the restaurant, my mouth just says Coke, even though maybe secretly I want Pepsi. And I think we're starting to see something similar with Bitcoin and NFTs and Web3 and crypto in general. It's like, maybe they're not really like that all comfortable with it or don't even really like it or want to even know about it. But it's like, damn it, that's the eighth time I've heard Bitcoin today. All right, let me look at it. I did have Robinhood open for AMC stock, and you know what? Maybe I will click on it. So I don't think it's going to be any one catalyst. Oh, this thing happened. Super Bowl ad. Matt Damon said, "Be bold." I don't know if he's talking about steak sauce or my retirement account, but you know what? I'm buying Bitcoin. I don't know if it's like that so much as a groundswell of attrition. It's an attrition war. And then you're like, okay, fine, I'll buy Bitcoin. No one shuts up about it.
No, I feel that. And I think people are just hearing more and more about Bitcoin like every single day. There's something going on in the space I think especially with the FTX thing that happened all over the news. And you guys were really at the forefront of that. Did you guys expect all of this to happen with FTX? And, you guys
I'll
at
be
Bitcoin
honest.
were really uncovering that first before anyone else.
Ben
So
has inside info. I don't ask about his inside sources. He's people that like gives them like documents and internal emails and internal Slack messages. And I don't know what's real. I don't know what's misinformation. I don't really even try to say, hey, I heard a thing, because it's not me that's hearing a thing. It's Ben hearing a thing. So what you hear Ben say is 90% of the time also what I heard. Maybe every now and then he might share something. But then guess what? He's probably going to say it 12 hours later in the morning stream. And
exactly.
so I stay away from all the inside info, but I didn't expect. All right. So, there's the big famous clip of Ben banging his fist on the desk, calling SBF the devil, making fun of the guy with the glasses. And it was definitely made fun of. Everyone was like, look at him, going after good old sweet curly haired Sam. Look at this crazy guy frothing in anger over this sweetheart kid who did nothing wrong. And now that things got exposed, I think people realize, like, okay, maybe there's something to some inside sources. I mean, I remember being pretty on point many, many months in a row. And then I think, maybe there's like 1 month of bad data. I think his inside source did get, I was behind the scenes. I saw the whole thing. If it was the guy who's kind of trying to trick us, it was the longest con in the world, because he gave us great data after great data. And, he explained his rationale for why he thought Bitcoin was going to go where it went. So I think that guy just did get burned. And we did, I think, weirdly enough, I think FTX was like kind of part of it. This was like a year before we even had any kind of negative thought about him. But hey, I don't have those inside sources, but if I get inside scoops, hey, I don't mind sharing it either.
Exactly. And I'm happy that you guys exposed Sam when you did, because it really snowballed into everything that happened today. And even though he is home playing League of Legends, at least we do know that we aren't all crazy and there were some really bizarre stuff going on behind closed doors. I mean, and speaking of everything else in crypto, you guys are also huge fans of Cardano. And, Cardano, Charles Hutchinson, he's doing some stuff. He's out there, and you guys are building as well. So, why do you like Cardano? Why are you so big and prominent in that ecosystem compared to other blockchains?
Well, there's many reasons. That's a good question. It kind of started with smart people I respect really liked it. Shout out to James, shout out to DJ. These people are all about Cardano years before I ever downloaded a wallet. And part of it was seeing the evolution of the space firsthand, because I was on that first wave of NFTs. I was shopping on OpenSeaNFT.io before JPEG.store. I remember when it was almost like a, hey, IOU system is like, I'll try to buy it and I'll say, hey, I will give you 100 data for this NFT, and they'd have like 24 hours to respond. And it was a terrible, terrible system. And minting was basically, you go to the Discord and they say, send ADA to this address and we'll send you something. Trust me, bro. And then to watch that grow and evolve into the ecosystem that it is, where it has like mobile dApps, a stable coin just launched, the NFT system is now robust and tons of utility, and just seeing it evolve. And it's because I was there in the early days. I saw the growth, I saw the explosion of dApps, and I saw the explosion of just the community. But what's weird is the community was stronger in like January 21, just January 22, I mean, and, arguably late 21, definitely stronger when it was around $3. So price memory, definitely hurts people. People see that I think it's right around 40 cents right now. people bought at $2. I
Yeah.
don't think that many people bought the very top, but there's probably someone bought at $3. There's people who bought at $2. There's people who bought at $1. People who bought at 80 cents. There's people who bought when it was flat at 60. There's a whole lot of people down in the negative right now. And for us to be this bearish, I know we're kind of moving up lately, but
Yeah.
if you zoom out, it's a pretty bearish period compared to 2 years ago. And people are still feeling positive about Cardano. They're still loving Cardano. I went to the Cardano events in Denver and Vegas. It was CNFTCon and the Rare Bloom event. This is a few months ago. Supremely bullish, even though the rest of the crypto industry was supremely negative. And then the icing on the cake, buddies of ours, Crypto Blood, Rice TVX. I had just left Cardano NFT, and I think it was the Cardano NFT in Vegas. Maybe it was the Denver one. Insanely bullish. Everyone, oh my God, I love Cardano so much. We're building. This is the future of finance. We're going to change the world. And I talked to Rice and Crypto Blood, and I said, hey, how did that Litecoin conference go? They both went to Litecoin. They're like, it wasn't good, man.
Of this year you're talking about?
Man, I just went to the Cardano thing. Everyone's like crazy bullish. All these moon boys like, nah, man, they're bearish. And I was just like, wow, okay. So like maybe in our echo chamber of Cardano, in our little ADA bubble, maybe we've like talked ourselves into a bullish narrative, even if it doesn't belong. And you know what? If everyone thinks it's bullish, it is bullish. And so, bullish and bearish price action is just stories we tell ourselves at the end of the day. And so I'm supremely bullish on the Cardano ecosystem. In fact, I'll even give a price prediction right now.
Oh.
You want a price prediction?
Guys, get ready. Get ready to clip. Smash the likes. Let's go. Deezy, hit it.
All right. Previously, we hit an all-time high of about $3.09, $3.10. I don't think we can realistically get above $10. It's going to be, about a 3.3x. As our market cap balloons, we got to expect the growth and bull runs to also shrink. And I think we can just realistically expect a 2x to maybe a 2.5, potentially even 3x. That would put us in the $6 range to the $9 range. I'm just going to go out, might as well just, put it out there. Let's say $7.84.
Woo! And when are you saying this is by?
October 25. I mean, we're still a ways away from the typical peak of the 4-year Bitcoin cycle. I mean, it wow. should be about 3 years, 11 months, 3 years, 10 months after November 21. So that's going to be September, October 25.
Okay. And this is kind of going by like the Bitcoin 4-year cycle, because a lot of people are saying
it's done me right so far. Yeah. I mean, maybe I called the bottom. I tweeted out November 15,000 and some change. I said, guys, if you go by the 4-year cycle, this is the bottom. And I don't know if you remember how bearish it was back then.
So
I've never seen more calls for 10K. In fact, I was actually starting to think 10K was pretty possible. I still put myself out there because I called the top using the 4-year cycle within 2 weeks, a year in advance, not knowing anything about the price charts, just looking at the 4-year cycle. I said the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, I had this whole idea in my head. There's going to be a narrative of the uncle is going to be told by the weird nephew that smokes pot that, he should buy Bitcoin. And, and then people are going to front run the Thanksgiving dinner pump. And, and they're going to try to sell on the Wednesday before. And I had this whole thesis written out for a while. It was going to be Wednesday before. It ended up being like literally 13 days before that. So I was like a year in advance. I was 2 weeks away using the 4-year cycle, maybe called the bottom. So I'm just putting myself out there and saying, yeah. This is going to be September, October 25, ADA, $7.84. Let's just put it out there.
I mean, listen, if there's community, anything is possible. No, listen, Doge was literally created as a joke, and it literally got into the 70-something cent range. That is incredible. People thought it was going to $1 as well, which, it is what it is. But look how far it's gone. People accepting it as payment and BitPay accepting it, and like all these high class people you were able to pay in Doge and ApeCoin even. Insane. I mean, do you picture more people picking up Cardano in terms of payment, or do you think Cardano is mainly going to be used for things like you were talking about, dApps, NFT marketplaces, things like that?
I don't know if it's going to be replacing ETH stablecoin, as far as like, spending and transacting. I think it's more going to be, what they're trying to do is, trying to do a lot of stuff in Africa with the school records. I think there's a whole angle there, but I think its main value proposition is just super, super decentralized, and there's no like whale wallets controlling everything. Unlike I was looking at some Polygon data. I don't know if it was
Mhm.
top 10. I think top 10 wallets is over half, and top 100 wallets is over three-fourths of all the
Oh,
Matic in the world.
holy
And
sh!
so, you don't have that issue with Cardano. So I think, I don't know how we leverage the decentralized nature of the token to really have some sort of mass appeal, but I think that's going to potentially be the angle. Now, does that mean some sort of dark internet currency, similar to like what Bitcoin was used for on Silk Road, as they start, you know, shutting down bank accounts and freezing truckers and out and I don't see the authoritarianism declining. I see it increasing. And then so
Yeah.
to me that's the value proposition of Cardano.
Yeah, and I know there's a ton of projects on there. Are there any games building on Cardano? Do you see like a lot of like different things being built there, or is it mainly just kind of like NFT projects?
Yeah, there's a little bit of gaming. So I know Farmer Nash, he's trying to do a lot with the Goombas. I think he's doing a tower defense that's going to drop. That's going to be a huge hot drop there. There's the Raggies. I think I actually hold some NFTs that are like quote unquote used for gaming. I just only game I've been playing lately is Dookie Dash.
So yes, you're a mutant ape holder. So you've been enjoying Dookie Dash. You think it's good?
I mean, I think it's pretty phenomenal for what it is. A game given to me for free that if I want to sell for thousands of dollars, I can. So to me, that's like crazy bullish. We have a resident sleeper agent here, Taco. He's been one. He hasn't been playing on my account, but there's like some bored ape holders, and we have an NFT project that holds a mutant ape, and he's been like gaming, setting all the high scores. I might actually
Wow.
have to farm it out to him too.
Wow, that's insane. I mean, listen, I could see a lot of that happening within NFT gaming, just like gaming farms and people just
Yeah.
like working at that. Because I've seen that people having their kids. I literally saw on Twitter a guy posted his kids playing Dookie Dash for him so he could get like all the top rankings and stuff like
Yeah, and
that.
it's a Fortnite, back to Fortnite. Fortnite Pro is currently number one Mongrel. I used to watch him like years ago.
Wow. So you're bullish on Cardano overall.
Yeah, I'm,
Cardano's
I'm
a winner
definitely
for
bullish
you.
overall. Cody just launched the Zed stablecoin, and when I looked 7 hours ago, I think they had already passed 10 million in circulation. Maybe it's 10, maybe it's 20. I think it was 10 million. And so I think Cardano is poised for a DeFi boom.
Hmm.
They have some pretty easy staking options with MinSwap. MinSwap's kind of like their Uniswap.
Ah,
You
I'm gonna
give
look
your
at that.
little liquidity tokens. MinSwap, I think, has a pretty low market cap. Little alpha for your channel here. MIN is the token. It has a very, very low market cap because they still have a lot of the supply and they dump it as a reward. But I
Ah.
think there is a potential upside there, just how small a market cap is. I think it's like 5 million. It's like really, really small. And so, the daily issuance of rewards definitely suppresses that price because you put up a trading pair of Cardano and Meld, Cardano Liquidity Protocol, Cardano and Ape Society. There's all these other coins, and they pay you in their MinSwap token, like a Uniswap MinSwap
Yeah.
token. So, imagine if you did liquidity pairs on Uniswap and they just dumped Uniswap rewards on you. People would dump Uniswap token.
Yes,
But,
I remember that when it first launched too.
yeah, but I mean, you saw what happened to Uniswap. I think it was given away for free. Kind of just hung out at a few bucks, $5, and then it shot up to 50 or 40 or something. So I think when there's a big Bitcoin rally or a big DeFi rally, I think Min token will also pump. I'll say this: I'm staking in 4 different pools on Cardano
Damn.
MinSwap. I'm not selling any of my Min.
Okay. All right. That you listen, things like that could be a great play because I remember when all these grocery store coins were coming out in 2020 when Uniswap was first popping off, and then even like
Cake and yeah,
yeah,
I
and all
remember
these
that.
airdrop tokens too, like ENS mooned. It went to like $80, and I was like, so and I believe that was the top $80. I saw it and I was like, oh damn, like everyone got that airdrop. It was pretty wild. A lot of money there.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, I got
gosh.
IMX and Gods for playing Gods Unchained. Yeah, we have a researcher here. I'm trying to get him to do some Twitter threads on just how to get free airdrops. I said, man, just keep it simple. Don't educate me on the DeFi protocol. Just tell me to go to this website, click this button, connect this, go to this Discord request. Don't sell me any of these stupid protocols because I just want to do it on 20 of them, and then we'll see what ends up, being the next Uniswap or the next BNB.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you too. While you guys are there, 9 more likes and we get 100 likes. Please share love, smash those likes. Let's get to
Hit
100,
it.
friends. We can
It
do it.
doesn't
We can
cost
do
you
it. We can
anything, and
do
every
it.
like makes Bitcoin go up a penny. Do you want to be poor?
Exactly. Come on, fam. So, are there good NFT marketplaces on Cardano? What's the minting experience like? Like, do I need if I wanted to just put out one NFT? Do I need like a whole like coding team to set something up for me, or can I just do it?
No, it's not too bad, and the minting experience is depends on who's doing it. If it's done internally, there's a few companies who kind of do it. Some are better than others. Some have good days, some have bad days. But yeah, you basically have to go to jpeg.store. But I can share this: we're launching our own NFT marketplace. We have Cardano, Ethereum, Polygon. We were going to do Solana, but there's a lot of security issues. It's on the roadmap. But Cardano, Ethereum, Solana. It's called Vumio, VOOMIO. You can go to vumio.io.
In the live
Sign
chat
up
right
for
now.
the beta. Sign up for the beta because we're going to open up the beta for a limited time just to test things, make sure everything is smooth. And part of the beta, we're going to populate some floors with some below floor price NFTs. So,
Ooh.
maybe, say Space Buds is 4,000 Cardano, maybe we buy a Space Buds and put it on our site for 3,800. Just to get people used to using the experience, get people, also we need to test it out. So this is going to be part of our testing phase. So if you want to get in on the beta before it just opens up for the public, sign up vumio.io, just give us your email. We'll send you a confirmation. And I can't confirm this because we just literally came up with the idea today and we're still planning NFT NYC. We might do a Vumio after party. And if we were, we might email the invitations.
And you might send me one too.
Of course, you're invited.
Of course, thank you. I really do think Vumio is cool. I remember like your initial little video, and it was like all of the chains, and I thought it was really cute. And I actually did put it on the Daily Zest, not knowing that you guys were actually doing stuff with Vumio. I think it's pretty cool.
Nice.
I think just being in a blockchain agnostic NFT marketplace is needed. What do you think is a good wallet? So like if once you get on Vumio, what's a good wallet to actually enter Web3 with Cardano?
I use Nami. A lot of people like other ones.
NAMI?
Nami is made by Barry Alessandro. Barry's he dropped the very first NFT ever on Cardano. The berries.
Okay.
They're worth like 50,000 Cardano a piece. There's only 100. I don't know the exact number. They could be 100,000, 200,000 Cardano each. They're that sought after. Maybe 10. Who knows? Bear market. But Barry Alessandro, he created the Nami wallet. He's a fantastic dev in the Cardano ecosystem. Tons of credibility. Tons of pushing new smart contracts to the forefront in Cardano. And you could stake your Cardano real easily to his pool with the Nami wallet. So I do that. Actually just did that. And so I should be getting some Epoch rewards. So every 5 days, you get free Cardano for the Cardano you've have on your wallet. All you got to do is just click a button. It's super simple.
And this is Nami wallet?
And it's self-custody custody staking here, meaning it doesn't have to leave your wallet and you can still spend it freely.
Oh. And this is Nami? NAMI?
Nami, Nami.
It's a Chrome extension, right? Is what I'm seeing here?
It's a Chrome extension. If you want to just do mobile, you have the Eternal wallet, and I think it is pinned on my Twitter, the Eternal mobile download, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I have different tutorials I pin. I think it's actually the Eternal mobile guide pinned right now, though.
Nice. Okay. Wow. That was a lot of alpha. I really needed all those questions answered. I have like a whole note thing going on right now on my computer. So thank you for that. Thank you for everyone in the chat spelling out Nami, Nami. So definitely going to check that out because, the reason why I was minting on Wax so early was because like in November 2020 is because it was easy to use. There's no gas fees and I could mint the NFT myself.
They had NBA Top Shots.
No, not Wax. Wax didn't have Top Shots. What was it? That was Flow.
What was the NBA thing they had there though?
I don't even remember.
It was Top Shots.
I think there was like an MLB drop or something like that with Tops.
It was a Top Shot. Yeah,
it was Tops.
Top Shots.
TOPPS.
Yeah, they did that. They did. I forgot. Yeah, they did MLB on Wax first.
Yes.
So they were way ahead of the curve. Yeah, I'm sorry, I mixed that up. Yeah, then they did. After that, they did NBA on Flow, but Wax was leading the way with the MLB Tops. I remember that.
It was wild. And, there's so many underrated collection, like Bratz dolls are on Wax. No one even knows about it. And, I was able to mint the NFTs myself, which is why I liked it. I was able to start a collection, then, get it go on IPFS on pinata.cloud. Shout out to Pinata.
Mhm.
Go upload my GIF. It'll give me an IPF hash. I go back to like the platform I was on. I put the hash, enter a title, how many I want, put it out, and it was just easy for me. So if there's something easy like that on Cardano, I might consider doing maybe a Cardano drop. I don't know. If it's easy, if
Hey,
it's
and you
efficient,
remember
I would do
Alien
it.
Worlds? Shout out to Alien Worlds, OG
They're
in
an
the play
OG
difference
too,
space.
Alien Worlds. Oh yeah. There's a
That,
lot of
that's
OG
kind of, I
games
mean,
on
I
Wax.
think technically I was playing Gods Unchained first, but to me, it didn't feel like a NFT experience. Alien Worlds was my first NFT experience, I feel.
Yeah, man. Guys, you if you haven't already, check out my NFT collection. It's so wild. And like it's been a long time, like literally celebrating all birthdays with Miss Teen NFTs. And NFTs are so
Were,
symbolic,
were
man.
you doing Our Planet
Um
on
not I
Wax?
wasn't like a big art planeter, no. Like I mean, of course I heard about it. Like I was like lightly in it. It was just like I had to have I didn't want to stake my NFTs. And
Mm.
that's what scares me is that I don't trust nobody. So for me to connect my wallet to something is something I already don't want to do. And then I have to
Uh,
give someone my NFT and then what if it like God forbid rugs, not saying our planet's a rug, but if it was like another platform and all of a sudden they rugged and my NFT wasn't mine anymore, it's just like leaving your it's just like a Celsius situation, you know?
it's like
And it's
Richard Hart
scary.
says, don't play on railroad tracks to pick up a penny.
Wow, Richard Hart quote out here. Period. Shout out to Richard Hart, an interesting guy with great fashion sense.
I'm not
Listen,
going to twerk, audience. Don't type it.
Listen, I was going to ask, but I guess I won't. So listen, Deezy, I know you got a lot to do. You have around the blockchain in literally
Yep.
30 minutes.
Yeah,
So
about a prep.
how do you feel about the space going forward, man? Like, how do you, being that you're covering the news every day, do you think we're in an okay place?
Yeah, I think we're in an okay place. I'm a firm believer in the 4-year Bitcoin cycle. So if you want to zoom out, right now we are at January 2019, right? Maybe February 2019. So that's where
Yeah.
we're at right now. And if you just pull up the price chart at home and you look at January 2019, you're going to realize that is literally the perfect spot to get in since the 2017 cycle. Obviously, getting in before that, 2015 was better. Hey, you idiot, it was this cheap in 2010. But since 2017, that was the best time. And in the 4-year cycle, that's where we're at. And so to me, I'm just scaling in slowly but surely. We're going to have some green candle months. We're going to have some red candle months. I don't think all 12 months of 23 are going to be green for Bitcoin, folks. So just go ahead and brace yourself for some pain at some point. I don't know if it's February, March. I don't know if it's a sell in May, walk away move. But there's going to be some down months. That's when you want to get greedy and you want to be fearful in times like this, where you're like, oh my God, Bitcoin is up 40% in a month. So even though you look at that price and you say, well, that's way below 69,000, you got to look at cycles. You got to look at human psychology. You got to think of your own greed and fear, and you got to maybe go counter to it depending on how much of a lizard brain you have. Me, I'm all lizard brain, so I got to lie to myself. But now is the time to get in. Now is the time to keep learning. Now is not the time to get bored. Don't do like I did where, I kind of, excuse my language, I kind of half-assed my purchases in 2018 and 2019 and did not nearly put in nearly enough capital. If I would have really focused, I could have had 32 ETH.
Yeah.
But, I was just kind of, I'll open Coinbase today. Now's the time to take it serious. Now's the time to find those 100x gems, those 20x gems. Just a few of those trades can change your life. But at all times, practice safe capital risk management. And I'm feeling bullish. There's going to be some dark days ahead, but now is the beginning of that slow 2-year grind up. And then it's going to be explosive for 6 months, 12 months. So just get ready. And you want to get a good seat on the roller coaster now.
Absolutely, friends. Be safe. Get those seatbelts, lock them in, and get ready to board that rocket ship, friends. Thank you so much, Deezy, for hanging out with me today. This hour flew by, like absolutely flew by. You're an amazing person. I support you with all my heart. Please share with the audience here where they can find you and, share a message with us. It could be about food. It could be about, your garage business, anything you want to talk about. Share a message from the
I'll give them
heart.
the secret to happiness. How about that?
Yeah,
I'm
do
going to
that.
end with the secret of happiness, everybody. I'm actually being for real. This is literally the secret of happiness. It is the secret to get anything that you want in life. Being realistic. I'm not going to be the starting center for the New York Knicks, but anything realistic in your life that you can accomplish, I'm going to tell you how. But first, Find me on Twitter, DZ_BTC. Same thing for Instagram. Be careful. There's a lot of scammers out there. I'm never going to message you. Also, you can check out Vumio.io or Vumio NFT on Twitter. I'm going to be live on Around the Blockchain. We're ATB Daily on the socials. Just type in Around the Blockchain on YouTube. You should find us. You can always see Miss Teen Crypto on there. One of our favorite guests, one of our best guests by far. But all right, let me share the secret to achieving anything you want in life. It's very simple. You find out the cost, you pay it. Let me expand. You find out what it takes to get X. Whether it's, give me an example here. Just a random thing average people want,
One
in
Bitcoin.
life. One Bitcoin. You find, well, okay. I mean something that doesn't have a tangible cost. I meant more like
I was going to say. Oh, yeah, like being the CEO of a company.
Okay, you look at the CEO. I want to be the CEO. Maybe you're in the mailroom. You got to look at what does it take? What do I have to pay to achieve that? What do I have to pay to purchase or obtain that? And look, really take a real self-assessment. What is the CEO doing? Does he have a 4-year degree? All right, guess what? You have to go to night school. That is part of what you have to pay. Does he put in 80-hour weeks? Guess what? Maybe you're going to have to put in 82-hour weeks. That is going to be the cost associated for what you want. You have to find out, you have to identify the cost, and then you just have to pay it. And it's not that hard. You want a 6-pack at home? What is the cost? Guess what? You got to starve yourself past 7 p.m. Guess what? That means no white sugar. That means no sodas. Find that cost, and then you pay that cost. Oh, you mean I have to work out like Bruce Lee with 10,000 push-ups? Often you'll find, okay, I've identified the cost. You know what? Maybe I don't want that thing. And so then you reassess and find realistically, okay, what am I willing to pay? This is the payoff. Is it worth it, or do I want to go one step further? That's where you just have to embrace the nature of being uncomfortable. And you can literally achieve anything you want in life. Identify the cost, pay it. Success is yours. It's that easy.
Boom, boom, mic drop. Deezy, that was beautiful. That was alpha. I'm so happy you even just like spit out those words because that was amazing. Everyone in the chat loved it. So thank you so much, Deezy, for joining me. Please follow him to Around the Blockchain in 30 minutes. That was amazing. I literally love this guy. I support him big time. I really love what you're doing. And you're, like I told you pre-show, I'm not lying. I really think you're going to do amazing things. And, this is like the beginning of your crypto journey. And I feel like that's the same for all of us. I really can't wait to see like what me and you are going to be doing 10 years down the line. And where life is going to take us, because I really think you're going to go so far. And, thank you for explaining all your Cardano theories and everything in the Cardano ecosystem. Friends, thank you guys for coming. If you enjoyed the show, please, again, smash those likes, subscribe, comment after this is over, and share it out with friends so more people can learn about Deezy and his amazing story and the greatness of Cardano and where he thinks it's going to go. I saw someone ask me in the chat, when do I turn 20? That's actually 2 weeks away. So what am I going to do when that happens? Comment after this is over what you think I should be doing when I turn 20. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day. And as always, stay zesty. Peace.